Our daily morning routine varies from person to person. Some people need that shower first thing in the day to get them going, while others may eat their favorite cereal out of the same bowl every day, or wake up to their clothes already laid out, the result of meticulous planning from the night before. For one group, these everyday necessary activities don't get any easier with a hot cup of coffee or an extra 10 minutes in bed. Cerebral palsy is a disease that has a spectrum of physical and neurological manifestations. Depending on what area of the brain is affected, individuals can have issues with muscle tension, balance, coordination of movements, or speech. Spastic cerebral palsy is the most commonly diagnosed form, and depending on its severity, can have a major influence on how well a person can do the big and the little things that they need to get by and enjoy each day. This is not a population on the fringe of society. Think about Alex Bilodeau's brother Frederick. Put yourself in someone with CP's shoes for a minute and consider what it would be like to go through your daily grind with the added burden of this disease.
The exact number of people affected by cerebral palsy is unknown, but in the United States it is estimated about 500,000 people under the age of 18 are living with cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is caused by damage or abnormalities inside the developing brain that disrupt the brain's ability to control movement and maintain posture and balance. The term cerebral refers to the brain, palsy refers to the loss or impairment of motor function. The symptoms of cerebral palsy differ in type and severity from one person to the next and may even change in an individual over time. People with CP usually have a reduced metabolic rate and a decrease in their aerobic capacity. Most of the studies and treatments out there now involve the use of standard exercise equipment. In the long term, it becomes boring and repetitive for the kids. That's why we're really excited about a new angle of research that's going beyond the objective, traditional, physiological approach and embracing the real desires linked with health-related quality of life.
Exergaming is an emerging field in physical activity research. It's a new approach that has attempted to bridge the gap between an adolescent population that continues to report increasing levels of childhood obesity, increased screen and video game playtime, and a lack of physical activity. Exergaming targets a behavior that's already in place and converts it from a block of sedentary time into a beneficial physical activity that, depending on the game and type of system, will target specific areas of physical fitness, like balance, coordination, and fine motor control.
I was 8 when my brother was born. My brother was always different, even from when he was really little. Sometimes he'd be really limp, other times he'd stiffen up and wouldn't seem to relax. They told me he wasn't growing as quickly as I had when I was younger. This really concerned my parents, who saw a doctor who referred them to a specialist. And then my brother was diagnosed with spastic cerebral palsy. Every day, there are a lot of things that we help him with. It wasn't until my brother was in junior high that my mom could go back to work. She still makes his lunches every day and leaves it on the counter for him. Ever since I've had my license, I've been helping him drive to appointments. It's not easy for my brother or our family, but we make it work.
The situation that Tamara's family is in is common for many families where one member is diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Tamara's brother is going to take part in a new intervention for children with cerebral palsy that isn't solely focused on the objective physiological outcomes, but rather the child's perceptions of their physical and social functioning as dimensions of health-related quality of life.
We reached out looking for families just like Tamara's, families that have already expressed interest in alternative therapy as treatment. We wanted to make sure that the kids had already been diagnosed with spastic cerebral palsy and had enough lower body function to be able to support their body weight and use the equipment fully.
My brother will be going to the Exergaming Center once a week with about 15 other kids with CP for the first 4 weeks. My brother's so excited.
The Exergaming Center is already established and being used in other research with children. The intervention is utilizing an open block of time at that facility. Initially, we'll have participants come in and fill out a couple of brief questionnaires at the beginning of the first session. The first 4 weeks will then be dedicated to getting the children comfortable starting, operating, and using the equipment with the assistance of therapists.
These kids with CP typically score way lower on perceived health-related quality of life tests when compared with their friends. By engaging them in fun, exercise-oriented games, we truly believe that we're going to see a huge jump in the way these kids perceive their quality of life, especially in the physical, emotional, and social spheres. And this gets even better because we're giving them the resources that will allow them to take these games into their homes and use them on a daily basis. They'll even get the chance to compare their exercise scores with their friends that they've made from the first 4 weeks of the program, using the built-in social network.
I'm really excited for my brother and the opportunity he'll get to meet a bunch of people who have the same condition as him. I think it's going to be a great opportunity for him to make some new friends who have similar experiences.
At the end of the 4-week intervention, these kids will get a big surprise, something that they didn't know about at the beginning of the intervention. They'll get to take home their own Wii. This means that they can play the same games, get the same benefits, all from the comfort of their own home. These kids now have a network of friends that have all shared in this great positive experience. At the beginning, all they had in common was their cerebral palsy, but now they can connect through something other than their shared condition. Not only that, but they can now connect with their friends at school through something that all kids have in common: play. We're not looking for significant improvements in objective physical functioning scores, like a 1 centimeter increase in average step distance. What we're looking for is significant improvements in what these kids feel and believe that they can do with their bodies.